Dog Squad, we will be predicting the 2023 NFL schedule for the AFC West during the NFL OTAs, or also known as off-season for the 2023 season, or at least upcoming. Remember, when I do the NFL OTA predictions for the 2023 NFL season, I just predict based off what I know, based off what happened last year, and based off what players are on that team, the roster, and all that stuff. Basically what I know. But when I get into the real picks, which will be in a couple weeks when I start doing those, either through NFL edits on shorts or through these videos right here. But it'll be Sundays until the NFL season starts. It'll be eight Sundays, so since there are 8 divisions, so I'll probably start here in a couple of weeks. So when I get to the real ones, I go ahead and research and, just basically, not basically just what I know now, but I dive into the internet, social media, and news. So that's how I do it for the real season NFL predictions, not just during NFL offseason. Now, if you want to subscribe to be part of the Dog Squad, go ahead and do so. It really helps. 600 subs by August 3rd. Now, without further ado, let's do this, Dog Squad. Alright, Dog Squad, here we go with the LA Chargers, but I just want to let you know, this was a division that I was kind of confused about, a little worse than I kind of thought. Chiefs and Raiders are the only ones I kind of expected. Broncos, I have them going, I honestly think they can do really well this year. And the Chargers, I think they can do better than the record I'm about to tell you. So, since they got last, what I'm going to do is, since the NFC East will be the last division, because it's made of teams I know really well, of course, the Cowboys are in it. That will be the last division. This will be the first, because I don't want, because these are different. This isn't the best division. So this is going to be one of the divisions I'll be going first for the real picks, for the ones that matter for the season, just to let you know, because it got all these picks up because they were with other teams, so it got basically the shaft. It was last, so that's why. I mean, honestly, I thought it could do different things and go different, based off what I thought, but I didn't think it would have this record. I mean, I couldn't remember, so it was last. It's kind of hard, so. Based off what I thought, but now that I think of it, I kind of have some concerns, like, they're better than this, so, but yeah, that's where we're going to do it. Glad that I'm a Cowboys fan, so we can do NFC last. Of course, if I wasn't, we could always do a different division last, so, but yeah, so here we go with the LA Chargers, as always. I have my handy-dandy schedule right here, so here we go. Chargers surprisingly lose 3 games in a row. 0-3 to the Dolphins, Titans, and Vikings. I can see them losing to the Titans if they weren't careful. Vikings and Dolphins sure can beat them. Then they do beat the Raiders. That's a good pick. They do lose to them boys and the Chiefs to go 1-5, and that seems pretty original. So 1-5. 2-5 comes from a win after the 2-game losing streak to the Bears. Then they do lose next game to the Jets. They do beat the Lions. Then they do beat the Packers. So they're now out of 4-6. They're improving. 5-6. They beat the Ravens. So they got a 3-game winning streak going. But then they do lose to the Patriots after some. That's going to be a game I think the Patriots will just come out of their shell. I've had them in. You did not see the AFC East predictions. I suggest going to see that. But then they'll come out of their shell and win that game 6-7. Then they do beat the Broncos. Even with Sean Payton, I think they can still. Chargers can still win that. Then they do sweep the Raiders off a 7-7 win. Then they do lose to the Bills 7-8. They can win that game. Honestly, they can win that game. I have no clue why I said they can't. They can beat the Bills. So I may have something improvement with that whenever it comes. I think they can beat the Bills, but I'm not going to change anything. There are a couple changes from schedules, but they're from teams that had the bottom of the division. Didn't matter for them, so that's why I'm saying. And this is only during NFL OTA predictions, so there are some changes to the schedule based off other teams that I predicted in the past. So then they do beat the Broncos 8-8. Then they do, because the Chiefs are in the playoffs. They do get that win, and they do go 9-8 to finish the season off from here, based off what I think during NFL OTA predictions. So now let's move on to them Las Vegas Raiders. So here we are with the Las Vegas Raiders. So as you can see, I have my Chiefs shirt from last year. I'm just wearing this because we're AFC West. I am kind of a Chiefs fan, not a bandwagon, but Excuse me. I am. I just like wearing old Super Bowl shirts, and I like wearing from the teams that won. It's just a thing to do. So here we go. Raiders lose their first 4 games to the Broncos, Bills, Steelers, and the Chargers. 0-4 they go. Then they do win and beat the Green Bay Packers to go 1-4. Then they do lose to the Patriots to go 1-5. 2-5. Their next win is to the Bears. Then they do lose to the Lions, go 2-6. So now they're at a record of 2-6. 3-6. They do beat the Giants. Yes, sir. Then they do lose to the Jets, 3-7. Lose to the Dolphins next game, 3-8. They lose to Tua and the Dolphins. Lose to the rivals, the Patty Mahomes and the Chiefs, to go 3-9. They do beat Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson, and the Vikings to go 4-9. Lose to the Chargers to go 4-10. Remember that Chargers swept them. 4-11. Lose to Patty Mahomes and the Chiefs once again. They do beat the Colts the next game, go 5-11, and then they do lose to the Broncos. They get swept by the Broncos to go 5-12 of the season. So that's where they'll put them. I think Jimmy Garoppolo can help them, but will they be able to get used to them? Jimmy can get hurt too, and so what will they do with that? So I don't know. I'd say if Sean Payton was the head coach of the Raiders, I would have them a completely different record. If anyone was the head coach, Bill Belichick could go to the Raiders. I don't know. So if anyone was the head coach, Mike McCarthy, of course, Mike McCarthy, please don't leave Dallas. But, if anyone left. But anyways, that's where the record stands at a 5-12 going into the season. Now that we flip over to the second half of the AFC West, we now go to them Kansas City Chiefs. Here we go. Here we go, Dog Squad, with... Oh, excuse me. Just a second. It's the Kansas City Chiefs time. They do beat Jared Goff and the Lions to start off the season and go 1-0 on that first game of the year for anybody. 1-0 for the whole entire NFL. Then they go to Jacksonville, play Trevor Lawrence, ETN, 1-1. They do lose to them. That'll be interesting. I'd love to. That'll be a good game to see. 2-1, 3-1, 4-1. They win how many games? 5 in a row to the Bears, Jets, Vikings, Broncos, and the Chargers. Good job for them. And then they mess up here. They do win another game to Denver to 7-1. They sweep them. Then they do lose to the Dolphins in that Germany game. I think they definitely can. Dolphins can definitely win that game. 7-2. The Chiefs lose that game. Then they do beat the Eagles. Yes, sir. 8-2. 9-2. They win another game to go versus the Raiders, and they win that. Then they do lose to Green Bay. Green Bay. I've said before, Chiefs will have their will fall then. 9-3. Then they do beat the Bills. Like I've said before, when can they start playing in Buffalo? I think I've seen them play in Buffalo before, but I don't know. They always play in Arrowhead, but the Bills have won the last time they played in Arrowhead, I think. Or did they? Yeah, because the Chiefs played the... No, Bills and Chiefs didn't... Did they play each other last year? No, it was Bengals and Chiefs. Because Bengals beat the Bills. Okay. In the playoffs, I mean. So, yeah, that's what happens with a 10-3 record. Then they do beat the Patriots, Raiders. Patriots and the Raiders would go 12-3. But then they do lose to the Bengals. Bengals win again. They always do well in the regular season against the Chiefs, so go 12-4. Then, like I said, they don't have nothing to play for, so 12-5. They're already winning the division. So yeah, also got some water here. But yeah, probably shouldn't have it around here, but I'm always careful. So 12 well, not always. Kind of clumsy. I'm a teenager. So, but here, 12-5. That's where they go. I'm gonna put it back over here. Okay, anyways, 12-5. The Chiefs go. Here in the season. They win the AFC West. Just gonna let you know that. What a shocker. Anyways, now for the final team, let's move on to them Denver Broncos, and I have some explaining to do. Here we go, the Denver Broncos, and like what I meant when I said I have some explaining to do. The last team of this whole entire prediction, and well, I kind of thought over it, and I'm like, yeah, they can do much better than they did last season. This is a comeback year for Russell Wilson. So don't get me wrong. I'm just going to go ahead and say that their record this year is, well, worse than last year. But I really apologize for that, Broncos fans. Remember, this is just NFL OTAs. This is not something that really goes. This is not something that's for the real NFL season. This is something that I just didn't think this year, really twice about them, especially me predicting, like, when I was focused on one team, I was like, yeah, they can beat the Broncos. I also didn't think of it, and I actually had the Broncos beating the Chiefs, but I didn't want to give the Chiefs an 11-6 record. It just didn't seem like, that didn't really seem like a record they would need to have, and that just, Broncos can definitely beat the Chiefs once. I'm going to say this right now, Broncos can beat the Chiefs this year. It will be a close game. They've been able to handle them. This definitely could be a Broncos beating the Chiefs year. So they go ahead and do win 2 games in a row to beat the Raiders and the Commanders, but they don't win a game until they verse the Browns. So they are at a record of 2-8. They win 8 in a row. They lose 8 in a row. They beat the Browns to go 2-9. Then they do not win another game. Oh no, sorry, 3-8. Then they do not win another game until till they go 3-14. No, until they go. What is it? Yeah, until they win their last game and they beat the Raiders to go 4-13 of the year. Yeah, like I said, I'm definitely gonna do some stuff to the Broncos. I'm definitely gonna help them out. So. Make sure, and right now, as you can see, I'm putting the record out, or if you maybe have saw, I don't know when I put this out, when I put the record out on the text, just now, you know what I mean. I apologize. The record, this is 4-13. It should say 4-13, but this is definitely going to get better when I predict final. You know, whenever final, I will predict it will be better. Just want to let you know, but this is just based off, I'm not going to change all my predictions because I have a lot of teams left. From the season. So, anyways, but yeah, those are the records. Here is the AFC West division right here for NFL OTAs. Stuff will be changed for everywhere, for every division, not just the Broncos, not just the AFC West. Stuff will be changed going into the season. So, next season, I don't think I'll be doing one of these because honestly, what my plan was to do, my plan was to go ahead and do it right after back in May. But I was like, oh yeah, the OTAs are starting. So let's just go ahead and do something fun. Maybe just give them a test. Maybe go, maybe because it does get me more familiar based off their schedules. So yeah, maybe that would be a good idea to do. Maybe I can do that for for next coming year. So. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think about this. And remember, 600 subs by August 3rd. Stumbleguys live stream can either be tonight, should be, because I said this weekend. But if it's not, I'll let you know through a community post, so stay tuned. Excuse me. And that's going to wrap up today's video. Make sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you never miss one of my videos. Be a part of the Dog Squad that way by subscribing. And I will see you next time, Dog Squad.